open up the window. That's what it's doing now. Setting up your meeting. And, oh, I'm on. I can see it on my notifications. So,
Nice.
All right, let me pause it. Okay, there we go. Okay, so it's paused. Now I need to share. I know, guys, hang tight. I'm getting, if you're on, I'm going to send out the text right now. Okay. Paste it here. Okay. And send message. Okay, 66 people will be receiving my message. Now, the only thing I don't like about this is I have a hard time reading the live chat. So let me get it back up here. But it is on here. Oh, we got some people. Okay, we got 14 people watching. So I'm going to wait and see that shoot up since I just sent the text. Oh, good. She just got the text. Monica did. We have 2 Monicas. Okay, so we have a few joining us. As you can see, I have my guest here. Mrs. Jenn Bay is how you say your last name, correct?
Yeah.
So welcome her. Hello, Monica. And I'm excited to have her. Look for another guest in a couple weeks, hopefully. I'm trying to get her. We'll see what happens. I'm not even going to say anything about it right now, but for some reason, I'm signed into like my husband's account. Oh, well. Okay, so let's get into it, right into the show tonight. So many of you know Jenn from Milky Mall Clothing, one of my most favorite, probably my favorite, because that's the one that I buy all my nursing clothes from. My favorite nursing clothing provider. Very cute. I'm going to show you some of her products in just a little bit, but this is the woman behind the business name. So I just wanted to have her on her. She was telling me a little bit about her testimony a few weeks ago, and I just found it very, very interesting. So I wanted to get into that. But oh yes, I just saw Karen was on my thing, so I have to do my whole like spiel at the beginning. Okay, so like and share and subscribe and hit that bell. I sound so stupid saying that. My kids make fun of me. And hit that bell if you haven't. So I have to give that spiel. Okay, so Jenn, let's go into your testimony. Just tell us a little bit of what, tell us about yourself. Tell us about your family. Tell us about, how you got saved and all that craziness.
Okay. Yeah. So my name's Jenn Bay. I'm been married for 13 years now. We met when we were in high school. We worked in a movie theater together. And so, yeah. And then we have 7 kids. We have 4 boys at the top and then 3 girls at the bottom. So it's pretty fun, pretty wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, so growing up, like we didn't really go to church a lot when I was a kid. We knew there was Jesus, but like we weren't a part of any religion, so to say, or church. My neighbors next door were actually Baptist, and they would take us to like Awanas here and there. And then eventually my parents started going to a church, and they got into a friend's church, and then eventually they got into a Pentecostal church. And so the Pentecostal stuff was hard for me because, they taught this like, you're not saved unless you speak in tongues type thing. Yep. Which was so like even then as a young age, like I knew that wasn't right. Like, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense, and I don't know if that was from going to like things like Awana or where, like, I just knew like that was wrong. And it was very, cause they kind of teach, oh yeah, like, you're saved by the name of Jesus. But then on the other hand, it's, all these other things too that they add to it. So it was kind of hard to like really navigate. And there was a lot of confusion in that. But as I got older, after we were married, I had my first 3 kids, and they happened to all be named A names. Mm-hmm. And so I had a friend comment like, what are you, the Duggars? Like, what? Like, I had no idea who they were. I'm like, what are you talking about? So then I actually ended up looking them up and researching them. And I was very fascinated to see Christians actually trying to live like a holy life, because all the Christian circles I was in, it was like, oh, God forgives you, like you can do whatever you want, God forgives you type thing. And it wasn't like they encouraged you, especially as a teenager. It was like you almost got more, criticized as a teenager while the adults were still, doing their own thing. But anyway, so I kind of got into that way. And then like I started to just want to be a better homemaker and stuff. And so because I didn't know what to do. My mom worked full time, and my grandma and my great grandma before that, they were all full time workers, And so I just wasn't good at homemaking, and I looked up some courses to take online, which I know kind of sounds silly. But I was like, I don't know what to do, So I took this course online. It's actually called the Homemakers Academy, and it's run by this lady named Jennifer Ross. Well, they also had a link to their like home business that was called like Family Vision Films. I don't think they have that anymore, but in there was Pastor Anderson's documentary, The New World Bible Versions. And I was really curious because as I was doing a lot of research, I saw like in homeschooling things like people saying like KJV. And in Utah, that's like a Mormon thing. The Mormons use the KJV Bible. And so like, I didn't know, I thought that was just Mormons used it because we were using any translation, And so I was really intrigued because I saw like just the cover of it and everything on there. And I'm like, oh, this looks good. So I clicked on the link and it was free on YouTube. So I watched it. And that's kind of how I got into like this, arena here in the circle, and like, just like really knowing the truth and having like no straight up, like, no, it is just by, believing on the Lord. And, so it was really able to like just cut through all the confusion that was going on. And I was just really able to focus. And that's when I really grew in Christ, was like, I just want to do everything right, so I just binged on so many sermons, and I was that crazy person, like throwing everything out, like, oh, we can't have this, we can't have this. And looking back, I'm like, I'm sure a lot of that stuff was fine, but like, I was just so wanting to like do what was right, So
that's funny.
Yeah, that's how I got here.
So you believe you were saved years earlier before, but then you were just kind of stuck in bad teaching and not really growing in things.
Yeah. Because like I said, when they would come up saying like, oh, you got to speak in tongues to be saved. It was like, no, I don't. Like, I'm not going to do that. Like, it was just so weird too, just seeing people speak in tongues, because, it's a weird thing if you've ever been around it. I don't know if you have, but.
I have not. I have seen videos, but that's about the extent of it. So.
Well, and it's funny because like kids in our youth group would just fake it. Like they'd be like, I'm just faking it so they'll leave me alone. But like me and my sister were like, we're not doing this. We're not going to pretend.
Right. Well, my husband had a Pentecostal, actually my husband was a pastor's son, Baptist pastor's son. And then the guy he worked with was his age, and he was a Pentecostal pastor's son. And he told my husband he was not saved because he had never spoken in tongues. So, and my husband's like, well, then according to you, I'm not, but I know I am. So.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I'd even bring up like, that's a fruit of the Spirit, and there's so many fruits of the Spirit, and the Bible even says that, like, because that's what they believed anyway, like speaking in tongues in that form. So when I would argue with like the elders about it, they'd just dismiss me and be like, no, like you have to have this one, but it didn't make sense because I'm like, there's so many fruit of the Spirits, and it says that we don't have all of them, we're not all the same.
Right. So when did your husband, were you guys saved when you got married? When did your husband get saved?
So we met when I was 17 and he was 18, and we were working at the movie theater, and we started dating around that time. And then he just started coming to church with me and going to youth group with me, and he got saved, pretty quick off the bat. So
you were saved when you got married then? Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good that you had that foundation for your kids. So your kids have pretty much always grown up in a Christian home. Yeah. What was the year where you really felt like you started growing?
So after I had my fourth son is when I got that growth, because I had that guidance. Like we went to a, what's the word? Like the club churches, like the lights and the drums and all that. The trendy churches. We went to that for years until probably after I had Aaron, and that's when everything started to like really shift and change. Cause like, and for us, like that was great. It kept us in church. Like God was still able to really use that in our life. But like, and they were right on like the, like being saved, they had that right. But it was like the milk. There was no meat. You didn't really grow. Everyone around you never grew, and we were there for years, without really growth. And so it was after I had my fourth son that the growth really happened. Okay. Yeah. The trendy churches, the funny thing about them is that they actually have salvation correct versus a lot of the strict, old IFB churches that have standards and things. They have a way of really twisting salvation and making it about works and appearances and things like that. Whereas the trendy churches have salvation right, but yet then
they've turned the grace of God into lasciviousness a lot of times. If you notice, like you said, God will forgive you. It's okay. Go ahead and do it. It's not a big deal. And they forget that sin has consequences. They don't teach on that. So yeah, that's what we've noticed. But they do, for the most part, have salvation correct most of the time.
Yeah.
So, which is funny. But all right, that's awesome. So can you tell me about all of the different things, all the different hats you wear? I know we're going to get into it, and many of my guests already, or my listeners already know a lot of what you do, but just kind of give us some of the roles that you play.
Yeah, being a wife, my husband's actually in the military. And so, he goes on deployments, he's out of town a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so supporting him as a wife, being a mom, running my home business. And then I just play with things too. I have my little Bay home thing that I play with on the side of like blogging and YouTube,
Yes.
trying it out and playing around with it, but nothing really,
What is okay, so if they want to find your home videos, it's under the Bay Home. Is that what it is under?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And for now, it's like just this fun, try it out thing. Hopefully I can grow into more like tutorials and helpful.
Right. Yeah. No, it's cute. I'm subscribed to it. A lot of cute little videos. So look that up too. That's just like a little glimpse into her home life. So, and then of course your business. How old is your business?
So I started it September 2018. So not very old at all.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
New. Yeah.
I must have found it I must have found it not long after its inception. Yeah. That's cool. That's very cool. But how did you get the idea to start one? And what made you want to start one?
So since I transitioned from, wearing regular clothes into skirts and dresses, just the idea that you can't even wear a dress really and be modest, And so realizing there was a problem there, and I've always been a visionary too. Like I'm the visionary in our marriage. So I've always wanted to have my own business and do something fun like that. And so, just those problems, like I nursed, I think I had my 6th child by then.
Yeah.
And so I had nursed 6 kids, and then trying to figure out, okay, well, how can I wear a dress and be modest and nurse still, and so that's really what motivated me, just to get something out there to help people, enjoy what they look like and not have to constantly think about the layers or what they're wearing or how to pair stuff. So
I know, I really wish that I would have had it with my other ones. I mean, I'm like late to the game too, because I found you on my 7th. Well, you wouldn't have been started before any of that, but I just got some of your great clothes with my 7th, and I didn't really have any nursing clothes before that. I mean, when I had my first, I don't even know if they made stuff like that back in 2002 or whatever it was. So, us nursing moms have a lot of things available to us. And we are going to do a promotional code for all you pregnant or nursing mamas out there. So just hang tight, and we're going to give you that at the end. And I was thinking about also doing a giveaway at the end where I just buy and have you ship it to them, where I buy like a nursing top. So
I don't mind even just donating one.
No, I'm going to do it. So I want to do a giveaway at the end. So you have to hang on till the very end, because I think I'm going to ask a question regarding something we talk about. I don't know what, this is totally spur of the moment, but regarding something we talk about, I'm going to do a giveaway. So hang on to the end, and maybe you will get the chance to win a cute nursing top. I noticed you have a lot of cute ones right now in clearance. So yeah. I'm going to get one. So anyways, since we're talking about that though, I want to do a screen share. I'm going to share my screen here. I'm going to go to your website. Let's see, share. Okay, so now I'm sharing my screen right here. There we are. Okay, so I'm going to go to, what is it? Milky Maw clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Will you come up? I should have gotten this before. I was kind of
no, I always do Milky Maw clothing because I don't know how to do my SEO yet. Oh, there I am.
Oh yeah, here you are. Okay, so this is it. This is the website. Let me expand it. And I have this one in, what is it? Like the red? Yes, the red. Look at all these cute dresses. I have this one. I really liked it. I just weaned Kelly. She is officially weaned. But these are so cute. You can wear them even without nursing. Yeah. So I'm totally going to wear, oh, look at that. That's only $19 right now.
So actually, I should click in it and see if it'll work. Because I actually have to adjust it with this stuff going on, because this is going to be a pre-order. So if you
Oh,
the
okay.
drop bar,
So can I like sold out? Large is sold out. Extra
Okay.
large I can add to the
the
cart.
price goes up to the normal price. Oh, the medium's
The
good. Okay.
medium's 19.
Yeah. I
And
was going to do these as still a deal, but then with everything going on, we can't get import.
yeah, it's crazy right now.
And some of my stuff does come stateside, but other stuff does come overseas. So
Okay, yeah, this is one of my favorites. I love this dress.
yes,
This was really cute paired with a scarf and a cardigan. Of course, all your dresses are cute that way. And I recognize some of the names on here. Oh, look, Xander Mick.
hello.
But let's see. Let's go to my ultimate favorite dress of all time. That's a lot of pages. Let's just go to the dresses. My ultimate favorite dress I've ever gotten, I just feel, is this one. I love this dress.
Oh yeah, I love that one.
Oh, beautiful. But see, it's nice because it works for maternity because it's roomy, but it doesn't look bad not maternity. See,
Yeah.
it's very cute, just normal. And this, I would always wear this with the jean jacket.
Yeah, you wear it super cute and usually pair it with a scarf too.
Yes, I'm just all about scarves. This is beautiful. This was my one close to Easter dress last year. I can't remember, but this is really pretty. If you want fancy, it has a zipper around here that you can unzip and then everything's readily available. So, and you have that in white as well, don't you?
Yeah.
This would be really pretty.
Yeah.
For a wedding or something.
Yeah, those are nice because you can't find like fancy nursing dresses either usually.
No.
So I was really happy to find those ones.
But the one that I just got here recently, I really, really love too. It was very slimming and very attractive. This one, I love it. Yeah. And I love that it's the shorter and then the longer in the back.
Yeah, it gives it a nice cut.
Yeah, but it's very, very slimming. It's very attractive. So I'm going to continue to wear that even if I'm not nursing.
Yeah.
And then there's lots of cute tops. I have this one. Love it. This one is also very slimming.
Yeah, so they're really nice for postpartum, especially like, you know, because even if you're already a thin girl, like, you know, there's always that bulge. And I don't know. I've been to the grocery store before and I'm holding my newborn and people are like, oh, are you pregnant?
I know. You're like, hello, whoa, baby.
Yeah.
I have this one as well, or one similar.
Yeah.
To that one.
I think you have the one that has the gray underneath it that came with it. It's like black.
Oh, and I love this one. I love this print. This is totally my style right here. And it's super comfy and soft. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten any duds from you. Now that I keep saying, I love this, but I've loved all of them. I really have it. And they're pretty true to size too. I haven't found.
Yeah, I try to mark if they're not. And really the only complaints I've gotten was on the swing dress. People with bigger busts had to size up on that. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could see that. It fit for me fine. A large did. Yeah. But then too, I always wear most of my stuff with a cardigan or, you know, a scarf or something. I haven't gotten these. These are two of the things I haven't gotten. Obviously, I'm not going to unless I have another one. But, and I didn't know you had jewelry too.
Yeah, just some fun little things.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
Cute. Accessories. I don't even think I've looked at this. Oh, you have nursing covers.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that, everyone. They're only $12.99 right now.
Yeah.
So go get it. Oh, a little postpartum self-care package. How cute.
I teamed up with the Clean Botanics. Amanda.
Oh, very cute. Yeah. Nice. All right. So that is her website. Very cute stuff. So this one is a pre-order, correct?
Yeah. The $18.99 prices. I need to change it. I thought I did. So I have.
No, it's not this price.
Yeah, I have a limited stock, and so like they're gonna be the regular price.
But look at this clearance, guys. There's really good. I mean, this stuff is better priced than stuff in the stores because these things are expensive in the stores.
Yeah.
$8.99. And this one, $10. I mean, yeah, go get some. They're really cheap.
Yes, clearance is always a nice way to go. Yeah, and that's like the thing, like you said, like $9.99, and it's a nursing tank. Like,
yeah.
That's very comparable to what you get at stores or regular tank or whatever. So
it definitely is. Okay, let me get back on the chat here. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, so Do they come in extra small? Someone asked.
I don't know if I have any extra small in stock right now. It's hard because extra small is really like, we don't have a lot of customers buy. So like usually I don't hold them. But if you email me like, hey, can you get this in extra small? Then I can try to get it in extra small for you or see if it's made in extra small for sure.
Okay. But you do have smalls because she asked for smalls, right?
Yeah. I do have some smalls, but like I said, we usually carry less of smalls in certain ones just because they don't sell very well. Just because, yeah, our biggest sellers are like large, extra large.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that seems to be the common size of most
Yeah.
women nowadays. Karen, yes, she does offer gift certificates. In fact, I saw it when I was like screen sharing. You do, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. She offers gift certificates. So, and yep, pay attention. I will put the code in the bottom after we're done. And I'll tell you it near the end. It's just going to be Gently Led 30. She's offering 30% off non-clearance items. So that's a really, really good deal. I told her, I said, you don't have to do that much, but she wants to. So, 30% off. That's really good. So Gently Led 30, and I'll put that in the description. But let's go into your household of many children because you have as many as me, but mine are spread out. I have 18 down to 1. You have, how old is Grant?
He's 12.
12
Yeah.
Down to 6 months, right?
Yes.
Yes. So that is a lot of kids, 7 kids in 12 years. That's a lot. So what are your expectations now? Have you had to lower your expectations since having lots of kids? And, how do you deal with, because you seem like, anyone that runs a business and has a type A personality most of the time, most of the ones of us that kind of run things on the side, we're like type A personality, like perfection. Yeah. So was your personality before getting married, and how has that changed since having a lot of kids?
Yeah. So I do think like before getting married, I feel like I was more like in order and like, you know what I mean? Like
Of course, yes.
everything had a place. But then I feel like once you have kids and even like your spouse, like just you have to like let things go. And I always like a big phrase I use is letting go of perfectionism. Like that's my like motto, because it's so hard because it's like, you clean the house and then the next second something's out there and it's just a mess or something happens. So I've definitely had to lower my expectations in a lot of areas. But at the same time, still like trying to find that balance of like training the kids still like, not being so nitpicky when they're cleaning that they feel defeated, but also making sure they're actually doing the job and not just rushing through it so they can move on to the next thing, So it's definitely like a challenge, but yeah, so I don't know. What else did you ask me about?
And I feel like it's a balance too, because it's a balance from, and I'm all about balance, having balance in your life. So it comes from, not being too overly harsh, but then not being too slack on them too, not being too easy, because you want to raise good kids, but you don't want to raise little robots. And, have you felt like since raising your oldest down to now your baby, your parenting has changed a little, gotten better as you learn more things? I mean,
yeah. So we've definitely had like, this influx, like with our first 2, we were just like super, maybe even our first 2, like we didn't spank or anything, like, you know what I mean? It was very, so they got probably a lot more. And then like our middle kids, you can see like we were pretty tight ship on that, like, and then like the younger ones get away with a lot more. But but still trying to figure out, okay, like what is that line, because you don't want to be totally overboard on one side or the other. You got to find that middle ground. And there's also going to be seasons where you can be like, disciplining them well and just making sure that you are being orderly or however you want, to them to be disciplined. But then there's other times where like you're pregnant and you're just on the couch, like, barely survival mode. And so, so they can get away with stuff then sometimes. But
oh yeah, definitely. So what are some ways that you find to retain your sanity? What are some ways you do that?
I think like I said, letting go of perfection. Like, I went through a phase where like we didn't have any electronics in the house. And it was good, but at the same time, like there's been like other times in my life where it's like, using electronics to say, you know what, I do need to like have a break for a second, or I do need, and it doesn't, it can be as simple as like leapfrog educational videos or
Right.
documentaries about animals, like whatever you guys want as far as educational or just even something fun for them, but
Mhm.
just like learning, like, okay, they can sit in front of the TV for a minute while I go and take a nap or rest or whatever, and especially having little ones, like, my girls, so my three little ones, they'll all come and lay down and take naps.
Mhm.
And so it's nice, especially when I was first postpartum and I needed those naps, just to be like, okay, we're gonna go all take a nap, and then the other kids could kind of just do quiet time.
Right. Yeah. I definitely see no harm in that at all. I mean, obviously we have electronics in our home, but I do think I've noticed with some of my kids, and it's just knowing your kids too, because I've noticed with some of my kids, they have a tendency to sneak off and maybe I don't notice. And they're like in their room on a tablet or something playing a game. And I'm like, okay, so, I got to just make sure that I keep an eye, like we're working now, everyone works, no tablet time, because I have a couple that will try to get away with it.
Yes, and establishing those boundaries, like, because we have a rule too of no electronics in the bedrooms.
Yeah.
They, if
Mhm.
if someone does, like, go into the room with the Kindle because it's too loud in the main
Yep.
area,
Yep.
then they lose that privilege,
Uh-huh. That's
or
a good
whatever.
rule.
So
Yep. That's a good rule. Yeah, definitely good rules. I think, I've always had the mindset that electronics and the internet is good as long as there are boundaries and things in place. That's why with our house too, the only computer that we have in the home is in the living room. It's where I teach the piano lessons. It's right there. So it's right out in the open. Everyone can see it. And then, the Wi-Fi goes off every night. I still hold to that. So
yeah,
my oldest son, even though he's 18, his phone only runs off Wi-Fi, so he doesn't even have any data or anything on it. So he can only be on Wi-Fi when he's at home. So obviously, he's too tired now because he's working a man's job, but he's too tired to stay up late anyways. But I've just always had that in place, and I just think it's good for parents to do
yeah.
that.
And if you guys get like the Google Wi-Fi, or I don't know if there's other ones out there, but Google Wi-Fi is awesome because you can access it on your phone and you can pause
Hmm.
specific devices or have schedules for specific devices. So like, say if you only want your kids to play for 30 minutes, you can actually like schedule the game. So
Nice.
it automatically shuts off. It takes that fight out of like, get off the electronics, and oh please, I'm almost done, or one more. It's like, nope, like, so
Like
it's helpful.
what? I've never even heard of that. What is Google Wi-Fi? Is it some kind of app that you get that goes through
So
your
you just
Wi-Fi?
buy, it's your router basically. And
Oh.
so I got mine, I think, on Amazon, and it came in a 3-pack. And so you can put, like, we just have one upstairs, but once we have our basement finished, we'll have one down there too, just for the range.
Mm-hmm.
Most people probably only need one, and ours is working fine for one. But yeah, and so it's just that, and then you can pause it, you can turn it on and off from your phone, you can set schedules for each device. So it's nice.
That is really cool. I'm going to look into that. Miss Lady Winter, I do not use Covenant Eyes. Do you have anything like that? And we've looked into it before, but it would restrict so much, like even YouTube preaching and different things like that. It's just so restrictive that we just have never really gotten it. I try to keep a close eye. I try to be my Covenant Eyes. I mean, obviously, kids will always try to sneak things by you. If it's in their nature, they're going to find a way to do it. So I've always tried to have my children's hearts as far as, making them letting them know that they better not be sneaky and they better be accountable to me, because once that trust is gone, it's going to be hard to get it back.
Yeah.
So, and I know
Yeah.
you have to instill that in them from the time they're young, because if they have it in their nature, the chances are, even if you have all the filters in place, they're going to find it at the library, they're going to find it at a restaurant. So you really got to work hard young, keeping them innocent, keeping them pure, really stressing purity. And we don't look at certain things that will ruin you forever, to ruin your future marriage. That's why I tell my kids, you start getting addicted to this stuff now, it's going to alter your brain. You're not going to be able to have a good relationship with your future wife. I tell this to my boys. I tell my girls, don't you dare be sneaky. You better be open with me. If anything weird happens, you come tell me. And there was a situation where there was something, like someone was trying to private message one of my daughters through Instagram, and she came and let me know right away. And she's like, you need to block them. Don't respond. Don't ever respond to weird messages. So, just putting those guidelines in place. And your kids are a little younger, but Grant's getting to the age now. He is getting into be almost a teenager. So
Yeah, yeah. And so with our kids, it's very similar. Like, and we've taught them, like, there's things that you can't unsee and it can ruin your heart and your soul. And
yeah.
you know, and so they're actually really careful. Like, you
Mhm.
know, they don't search the web at all. Like if
Yes, yeah.
they want to find something, they have me come and like, hey, can you
Mhm.
look this up for me? And we always, like I said, they're not allowed in the bedroom. So
Right.
like the only problem we've had is, like I said, with like some of our younger kids, like taking their Kindles in there because they're younger and they just don't understand, you know. And then they just lose their privileges for the day. So even then they're pretty good about it. But
Mhm.
you know, just instilling in them, like, because the fact is too, is when you do have those systems in place, it's so easy for them to find tutorials and ways around those things. And
Yep.
so like,
If it's in them,
and
they're
it's
gonna
not a
find
bad
a way.
thing for them to, for you to have stuff in place.
Right.
But they are going to find, they can easily find ways around it with the technology we have today.
Oh
And
yeah.
so you know, just really making sure you teach them
Mhm.
just security.
Yep, definitely. I agree because, you know, you can do as much as you can around your home trying to put filters in place and things, but I've known kids in homes with those in place and they still managed to get around it. It was just in them. They wanted to see, they wanted to find that stuff and they did. So if it's in them, they're going to. I mean, the heart is deceitful and desperately wicked. Who can know it? So you got to
Yeah.
instill that in them from the time they're young. But let's talk about budgets for big families. You know, you are obviously a stay-at-home mom. You have a side business, but I know that doesn't bring in a ton probably. I'm just going off personal experience. So you do have a side business. Obviously, your husband brings home the bacon for the most part. So what are some ways that you budget for your family?
So we found trying to budget $100 per person has worked pretty well. And that can include diapers and toiletries and all that. And what I actually do is at our bank, we bank at a credit union, and they have where you have your checking account, but then you can open like different cards for it. So it's almost like different accounts, but it's all under that one account.
Oh, cool.
So I've gotten cards for food, for gas. So it's like a cash system, but instead you have your cards for it, and then I load money onto those.
Hmm.
And so that helps me too, to not be carrying around cash and possibly lose it. And then just being able to
Right.
like swipe the card still. And then I can look on my app, you know, or just balance it on a piece of paper. So
That's really cool. I'm going to be nosy and ask. I spend about $250 a week for my family of 9. You have the same size family, but I have older kids that do eat out some. That takes a little bit off of the food budget from, you know, a little bit off of me. How much roughly do you spend, if you're comfortable sharing, about how much roughly is your weekly budget for food?
so we do try to buy more organic and stuff. So we're monthly, it's about $1,000, sometimes even a little more. Sometimes
Okay.
they keep going up into 1100.
That's about where I am. It's about 1,000 a month.
Yeah.
Now, this past week, I did buy a little more just because the world is about to end. So
Yeah.
whatever.
We
But
did stock up, yes. Because we didn't have, yeah, I told you earlier, we didn't have much since, because we've been in this house for what, like a year and a half, I think. So
mhm.
we don't have like anything stocked up or anything. I didn't do that yet. So
We don't either. So if you're watching and you think that we're like, don't come trying to pillage our house because we don't have a lot of extra.
and all our kids will eat it anyway, right?
Yes, they will. That's the thing. I've told people my kids are like grasshoppers. Literally, you bring in food, and you know how the grasshoppers would like eat Paw Eagle's fields? They just like go over the fields and eat it. That's how I liken my kids to. I bring home the groceries, and it's like grasshoppers descending. So
Yeah. Well, we never buy cereal, but my husband did, just because it's like a shelf item.
yeah. Hmm.
This is why, because like the kids just like, that's all they want to eat. They like
Yep.
pour too much. They get it everywhere. They eat a ton of it. It doesn't
Yes.
come up, like, you know, so being wise in what you purchase. Is it filling? Is it nutritional? And, you know, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, well, I don't do cereal either. I did buy some oats. I'll do baked oatmeal sometimes. We do eggs a lot for breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a lot. I really like making steel cut oats in my Instant Pot. And that only takes 12 minutes and it's great. You can throw apples in there, raisins in there, whatever. So that's really cheap for big families. But we do
Yeah.
breakfast for supper a lot. I don't know if you ever do like pancakes and sausage, you know,
Yeah.
for supper.
Yeah. We used to do oatmeal a ton, and we'd add like chia seeds and flax seeds and peanut butter and bananas just to like kind of beef it up, you know.
Yeah.
And my kids still love oatmeal. It's funny, like I'll even buy like some of the packet stuff sometime, and they'll prefer the plain versus the packet. So it's just like, okay.
Yeah. I think
But
most
we
of
do
mine
egg
like
and
it.
toast a lot.
Yeah, most of mine like it. So what are some other large family cooking items that you do? Maybe you can give me some ideas for different meals.
We chicken and rice a lot. Like we're kind
Yeah,
of bland people. Like we don't mind like repetition. And
Mhm.
every Tuesday's Taco Tuesday. And we could literally live off of like tacos and enchiladas like every day. Like sometimes we go through phases where like we're literally just doing enchiladas.
Yeah.
Because they're good and we don't tire of them. So
And they're filling, especially if you just, and they're easy if you just buy the pre-made tortillas. And I've made homemade tortillas before. They're really good, but they're just so much work when you have a lot of people to feed.
yeah. I've tried making homemade ones, but I'm just not, I don't know what I do wrong. I need a press, I think, because like I
need
can't
a press.
break them good. And I'm like,
Yeah.
they don't get cooked enough, it seems like, because probably they're too thick. And then I probably leave them on too long. So then they burn. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So.
They are kind of hard because you have to, by the time you're done, you have like built up all these muscles from just rolling out. They're so hard to roll out constantly, but
yeah, I like the ones at Costco. Have you ever bought those ones that are just the dough? Those ones are so they're homemade tortillas in a sense, because you just throw them on the griddle and warm them up, and those ones are really good.
Yeah, that sounds really good. So you like to do, we do a lot of Mexican. Like carnita bowls, and that's nice because you just use, pork roast and then all the sides that go with it, rice and beans and tomatoes and all that good stuff. I do that quite often. Homemade pizza. Do you ever do homemade pizza?
Yeah. We do that, and then sometimes we'll do the $5 stuff.
Yep. Oh yeah, Little Caesars.
Yeah.
$5 Little Caesars.
Homemade pizzas are fun, like, and the kids love rolling them out, so it makes it a fun activity. We try to do it, so every Friday is our family fun. And so we always do pizza on Fridays, and so it might be takeout or it might be homemade.
Have you ever made pizza bread?
No.
Okay, so this is pretty easy. Once again, you have the rolling aspect to it, but you buy the Rhodes frozen loaves of bread. And then you just, I think they come in a bag of 5, and usually about 3 is enough to feed I usually make 4 or 5. I usually make almost all of them, and then they'll eat them left over too. But you just kind of let it rise all day until it's really big and poofy. And then you just roll it out. And then in the middle, you put whatever toppings you want, but it has to be pretty thin. It has to be pretty thin in the middle, maybe about that wide across just once. And then you roll it up and kind of make it into a C shape and then bake them all. It's really good. And you can dip it in marinara sauce. It's really, really good. I haven't made that for a long time now. I want some.
Not good. You'll have to share it on your blog.
Yeah, I should. It's so easy though, because you're using the Rhodes frozen bread. So, and it's really cheap because you're buying, I think it's like $6 maybe for 5 loaves. And then you're, if you have all the toppings already, then it's just really, really easy. So my kids are going to be watching. They're going to be like, we haven't had pizza bread in forever. Go make some. So, but it's really, by the time you're done with that, your arms are like, sometimes what I'll do too is I'll just like put flour all over the table, and I have a couple rolling pins. So I'll give the girls each one. I'll just have the girls roll it all out for me. And that's a nice thing with having lots of kids.
When I even got some cute, like little ones from Walmart, like so the little girls can do it because they love baking and they love being in there. So
they would probably like that. Yeah, try that. It's really, really good. So anyways, how do you do chores in your home with all your little kids?
So I have these clipboards and actually brought them out since that was on your thing.
And
I know it looks like a lot, but it's not really. I have 3. So each kid gets a morning routine, afternoon, and an evening. And it's simple stuff like make your bed, get dressed, pick up your bedroom, laundry. So like they can fold their laundry or put away laundry, and some of them can even like start the laundry and rotate it and stuff. Feed, water, walk dog, prayer, breakfast, brush teeth, and then they have zones. And so I have another main clipboard, and these just hang up like by my garage. And so this one has like kitchen, dining, living, entry, hall, and stairs. And so the older boys all rotate through these zones, and then the youngest gets to just stay on entry, hall, and stairs just because he's young.
That's what my youngest does too. You get the hallway.
And so then it tells them in detail like what needs to be done in there. And so this is like what they have to do to be able to, say that they're done with their chores or whatever. And then my 2 older boys, they actually have to do a bathroom each. So, and then they rotate each week who does which bathroom because they don't want to be stuck on the kids.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's really cool. And did you print those off anywhere? Do you have a link available?
one is it's from funcheaperfree.com. And she has lots of great stuff on there. She's a mom of 8 now. She just had a set of twins. So this is where I got that one. And then I just did like their color. They're all assigned to color and it has their names. And I was using these tiny ones at first.
Yeah.
They just, when you pinch them, they just break. Like the big ones. And then she also has this one on there, which is called Power Half Hour. And so it's like for Saturdays, like group projects you can do. So I have on here like the basement living room area or the garage, yard work, the van, you know.
Yes.
So you pick one to do and you just say, hey, it's Friday or Saturday, whatever day you want to do your deep cleaning or whatever. And say for a half hour, we're all gonna like do this, you know. And so that's nice too, to kind of prioritize like big projects that need to be done.
I love that.
But these are nice too, because then they're just laminated and they stay on their clipboards. And this kid even has like an eraser on his, but he put the paper towel. But so they can just mark them off. And obviously, like for Sundays, they're not working on a Sunday. But this one's from lifeofahomeschoolmom.com, and these were all free printables. So
I'm gonna write those down so I don't forget. So Life of a homeschoolmom.com.
Yeah. And that's where I got the routine charts.
Now what's the other one?
Funcheaporfree.com.
Okay.
You can easily make these too, but why if it's already done? You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. Funcheaporfree.com. Okay. So those are written down so I can just go back and
just to say really quick too, like these are super helpful, but like don't think we're perfect at them. Don't think like you know, sometimes it's still a struggle. Like I do this just so my kids aren't constantly saying like, mom, what do I gotta do next or whatever. But even still with these, sometimes they still bug me and I'm like, go look at your list, you know.
Yeah.
And not every day is gonna be perfect. So just use like wisdom of like letting things go, you know.
I did so many, like I did that a lot when my kids were younger. We had chore charts, we had little stickers, but I feel like the older they get, I kind of just stopped doing them. I don't know if it's because I can just be like, okay, go clean the kitchen and they know what to do now, or go clean the room and they know what to do, or, you know, whatever, go clean the bathroom and they know the procedure. So I kind of got away with that, but I would love to start doing that. I need to be more strict on my younger 3 because I think I've slacked off on them.
That's hard.
So since my older ones do so much around the house, I think I've slacked off on the younger ones. So I need to get them back on board with that. And that's a good, that's a good idea.
To keep everyone where they need to be.
Yeah.
And
so let's go. Nope. Go ahead.
Oh, I just say I have some kids who will get up first thing in the morning and they'll do their list completely and be like, hey, like I'm free for the day, you know, and they'll get their 30 minutes of whatever they want to do on the electronics or something, and then they'll get to go play outside. Like they're just go-getters. And then I have other ones, you know, who drag. So
yes. Yeah, definitely. With your homeschooling, we're going to go into that next. Do they have a set, like with me, you do ACE, correct? Okay. So for mine, they pretty much have a set. I have to do this many pages a day. So sometimes I'll have one that will get up and will want to just get school done. So they'll start, you know, into school, and they just kind of know what's expected of them. Is that kind of how you do it with yours? Are you more disciplined? You like make them sit down at a certain time and do school at a certain time, or is it just kind of they can do it when they want?
So I used to be like, try to be really disciplined. Like when I first started like pursuing homemaking and stuff, like I got the Managers of Their Home. Is that what it's called? Managers of Their Home by Terry Maxwell, I think. Anyway, it's like this whole system and it's awesome and it's great. But like reality is like, I can't meet all those time structures and all those, you know, and so I find myself getting frustrated and overwhelmed and like, so like not totally ditching that, but like just the routine idea of like, hey, when you get up, you know, you're gonna do your room chores and then you're gonna move into your schoolwork. Like, and that's why these are helpful too, because it has them moving from their chores, like their rooms to their chores to their schoolwork, you know? So they just know what they have to do and then they just do it. And that's why I love the ACE curriculum too, because it really allows you to be hands off unless if they actually need you to come in and help, you know?
Exactly. I do the ACE with all of them except for the subject of math. They're doing math on teachingtextbooks.com, which is, you know, online. So, and I like that I like their math being online because it keeps score. It scores it for them. Right. So I don't have to. And then when they take tests on there, it scores it and all their scores are right there, which is really nice. So it's working out really well. I'll probably do that again next year, but they did ACE math all the way up until that was really the only one I found that I had to explain more. I don't know, probably you too, is maybe the math or English part. You know, science and history and literature, those are all really easy because they're Bible reading is very easy to do on their own. You know, 'cause
Yeah.
it's pretty much reading and answering the questions.
Yeah. So we actually only do Bible, English, and word building through ACE.
Okay.
Like our social studies is story of the world audios.
Okay.
And then, and so with that, I'll be honest, like we usually just listen to that a lot in the car.
Right.
And so it's not something, you know, it's kind of like on the back burner, but like we'll do it in the car. We have lots of books that we read to and stuff.
Yeah.
And then for science, I actually already had a lot of curriculum called Apologia.
Yeah, I've heard
And
that.
it's not KJV, but I have them look up the verses if there's any verses in it. And so they just do that on their own. If they can read, they can pretty much just read through it on their own now at this point, which is nice. So yeah, so that's what we do. I'm trying to think if there was any other. Oh, and then like typing, we do a program called ttrs.com. And so it's like reading and spelling and typing all together. So.
Oh, I'm going to put that down too. Now, did you have to pay for that?
Yeah. I can't remember how much it was.
ttrs.com?
Yeah. I can't remember. Is it teach, type, read, and spell or something? Is what it's for.
Yeah, that is one thing I do need to get my kids into a teaching. Typing. I need to get them into typing.
Yeah. And there's like really cheap ones out there. That one was just like an online completely membership one that was just easy for us to do. And but you can also get like just the simple order them off Amazon, and then they have come with the CD-ROM and stuff, you know.
Oh, right.
That's just all online where they just log in. I don't have a CD-ROM or anything, so.
Right. That'll be interesting. I'll look into that. I did, when I was growing up, I did Mavis Beacon teaches typing. I was homeschooled and that was the one I did, but it taught me how to type really fast. So
nice.
I'm a pretty good typer now, but okay. So homeschooling with all your littles, you know, is that tough at times, or like you said, you're pretty flexible. So, you know, how do you keep the little ones occupied while maybe you have to focus more on their schoolwork?
Yeah. I feel like my littles are just there. Like they're just a part of everything. And I really don't have too many issues of them like getting into things that they shouldn't be into, because they are like supposed to, like we're just all in the living room usually together, you know?
Yeah.
And if one wanders off, then I know like, oh, what's going on? You know, what are you going to go do? But like for the most part, I feel like they stay with the crowd. So they're pretty easy. And then I also like, you know, I created a little YouTube playlist that had different like songs. So like there's one that's like an alphabet song and it goes through the alphabet and then like the sounds. There's another YouTube video that goes through the Old Testament books of the Bible, and it's like a song one. It's like there's a little playlist too, so they can sit and watch that. So yeah, and then I have like videos. Have you ever heard of like Leapfrog? There's like Letter Factory and stuff like that I like to put in for the littler ones. So
yeah, that's a good idea. Get them some education while they're sitting there being entertained.
Yeah, and other times, like if we're doing like, you know, group science or reading aloud together, like they'll just sit there usually, and sometimes they'll just play with whatever is there, you know, so.
And it's amazing what they can pick up on. I think it's hilarious that, you know, this is just so commonplace to us, just feeding our kids and raising our families and being home with them all day. And now all of America is just thrown into panic. Like, how am I going to homeschool? You know, what am I going to do? And we're just like, oh, come on, guys. This is, you know, everyday life for us.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see if anybody decides to stick with it after, you know, they've been doing it for a couple weeks.
I think they will, because I think the thing that keeps parents from doing it a lot is fear of the unknown and just not knowing and not realizing just how doable it is.
Yeah.
You know, so it's very doable. Someone asked, can you give the name of the YouTube that goes through the Old Testament?
I don't know the name, but what I will do, I have my personal YouTube. I'll try to link it to my Bay Home YouTube. I'll have to see what I could do.
Okay, maybe do a playlist or something.
Yeah, and then you can kind of just get on there. I do know that the alphabet one that I like is Have Fun Teaching, but it's more like upbeat music, and like I just don't know people's music preferences, but that like, you know, it gets them on their feet and they kind of move to it and they enjoy it. So
Have Fun Teaching.
Yeah,
put that down. I'm doing all these things so I can go back on the chat and look and see if I need to do it later. So what do you do when everyone gets sick at one time? Do you just kind of make a home base in the living room. That's what I've always done. Make little beds for everyone. What do you kind of do to help get everyone through that if you guys all get sick at one time?
Yeah, so it definitely depends on what it is. Like, so if someone has a stomach bug and they're throwing up, usually I just get towels and I get a bowl, and they're just in their bedroom, you know. Some of the older ones are fine just to make it to the toilet regardless, so they don't need a bowl, but some of the younger ones need a bowl. And if it's the really little ones, then I try to be with them a lot of the day just to help them, you know, catch it. So, but then having towels spread around is nice too. And then like if it's just like a cold, then we're all together. It's like, you know, the thing is like it's so hard to like quarantine. You know, you're all gonna get it basically.
Yeah.
So it's like whatever. So even like this week we have a cold going around, and my youngest got it on Sunday, or my youngest boy, sorry. He got it on Sunday. Then the next day another kid got it, you know, and it kind of went through the 4 younger kids.
Yeah.
So, and it kind of just trickles through one at a time, and we just take it easy, you know, and like, you know, if they could do school, great. If they can't, that's fine. Like, we'll do it another day. Not a big deal.
Yeah. That's the nice thing about homeschooling.
Yeah.
I know Kirsten said, I thought this closed down wouldn't affect us, but now they closed the library. Mine just got closed today.
Oh,
So,
man.
but my library, I don't know how long, and they're doing it indefinitely. They are doing curbside pickup. So I can put a ton of books on hold. I did 25 today, which is a measly amount, but I'm like, I just got to get this done because I didn't know how long they were going to have it open. So I did 25 today that I was able to just go to the door and they just handed me the bags. So that was nice. So hopefully more libraries will do that. I don't know.
Yeah. Have you guys used the online app at all for the library?
I haven't, but I need to look at it because there's a bit, tons of books that I can download for free. So yeah, I mean, we have so much at our fingertips with online stuff. It's, you know, this really shouldn't affect us that deeply, you know, when it comes to learning or information or anything like that. I mean, you know, and even with me, I teach online piano lessons. So I've never been happier that I teach online piano lessons when something like this happens. So
for sure. Yeah.
That's where it's at for sure. But let's see. Do you do meal planning, and do you do your shopping like once a week? You know, what's kind of your game plan for that?
Yeah, I try to just go once a week if I can. We're about 20 minutes from our local Walmart. So, and I like to do grocery pickup if I can, but sometimes I'm just not on top of it. And other times I do actually like to go in and see like what's on sale, what's like the manager breakdowns. I'm sure all of you know, like the managers will go through and label things and stick them on there, and you can get things like so cheap. So it just depends. Sometimes I do like to go in and like see everything, but other times I'm like, nope, we're just going to order this. And, you know, and that's been the best thing. I actually tried that I think it was last January was my first time doing it. I'm like, why didn't I do this sooner?
Yeah, I love it. But now they've suspended indefinitely for my son's work. They said at least till tomorrow, but now they're saying maybe another week. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's because everything's probably sold out. So they're probably having a hard time keeping up with like both ends of it. But
yeah, they're having a time.
Yeah, so I like to do a meal plan. Like I said, every Tuesday and Friday is the same in our house, tacos and pizza. And then in between that, you know, it's usually like rice and chicken or rice and beef and broccoli bowls. Like I like to keep it really simple, but there are times where like I'll go wild and I'll make like chicken pot pie, or I'll use Mrs. Anderson's cookbook and just
fried chicken, pork schnitzel. That my family loves the pork schnitzel, but that is a lot of work because it's like you have to cut and peel and dice all the potatoes and then the cauliflower sauce and then breading and frying the pork schnitzel. So it's a lot of work, but they love that meal.
I don't think I've had that one yet. It's probably too much.
It's a lot of work.
Because all for us, hey, what's pretty simple here?
That one's not simple, but it is amazing. It is really, really good. So
yeah,
maybe for a special occasion. Yeah, maybe for a special occasion sometime. So let's go quickly over running a business with a large family. So what is your basic game plan when it comes to that? Do you just kind of do it as the orders come in? Do you have different days that you set aside just to work specifically on business things? You know, how do you kind of do that?
So I try to like kind of have like it's a loose schedule basically. Like if I can fit it in, if it's like quiet time, then I try to like really get it in. But then there are times where it's like, you know, I am exhausted and I do need to take a nap. Like, and I'm not afraid to like admit that, you know.
Yeah.
For the most part, I'm at the point now postpartum where I don't really need naps much anymore. So I'll try to work during that time if everyone else is calm and down. I mean, other times maybe the baby's not napping when I want her to, you know. So then I just try to work it in when I can. I also try to do a lot of pre stuff. So like my social media posts and stuff, I use a system so I can like plan it out for a whole month. And sometimes I'm great and I'm on top of that. Other times I'm posting the day of,
Yes.
Um, but and then I reach out to a lot of influencers for my just to promote me and stuff,
Mhm.
because it's cheaper than running, Facebook ads, Google ads, and you know, with a lot of times you're just hoping that the right eyes see those. Where when you use influencers and stuff, it can really help
Right.
those target audiences. So I do a lot of emailing and stuff like that, and
Mhm.
just trying to reach out to people. So
So it does help when people share your posts.
yes, it does
Mhm.
for sure. Yeah. And what else was I gonna say about it? Oh, and then like I have like meetings where like I like once every Friday I like log in and I listen to like different business podcasts, or you know what I mean? So
Cool.
I try to
Yeah.
make like a point, but like I try to not let that over, because you know how you can get caught up like listening to something.
Yeah.
Like for me, I want to prioritize things. And so
Mhm.
it just depends on like how often you can incorporate those things. So like for instance, like I want to be able to do my Bible time and like listen to that. I listen and read at the same time, so it's nice
Mhm.
with the app.
Right. Yep.
But then like there's other, like I like to listen to sermons and other podcast topics. So, just trying to like rotate through,
Mhm.
in a sense. Like, there's some things you want to do every day, like your Bible, but then there's other podcasts or things you might want to listen to and just, kind of rotate through it all.
Right. So here's the $1 million question. Is it really possible to run a business successfully and raise a large family? I mean, you're doing it.
Yes. It's possible. Maybe I'd be able to go further if I put more of my time and effort into it. But right now I'm okay with it being that like a side business, not like a
Right.
main,
Right.
like
Mhm.
for right now, like it isn't a source of income. Everything I make goes back into it, into new products. So
Mhm.
like I don't make money off of it, like per se, but like
Mhm.
I really enjoy doing it. I enjoy bringing like nursing clothes and like, ultimately, hopefully it would grow to where it could generate income. But if
Right.
not, it's still a nice outlet.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's possible. I just think making sure that you keep your family first and those priorities first. So, of course, if someone makes an order, like getting that out and like, not letting that go for a month, because like you do have, and you have the ability to do that. Like, I try to get my orders out same day or next day. So
People are always so fast. It comes within 2 or 3 days of me ordering it most of the
yeah.
time. Yeah,
And it
you're so
doesn't
fast.
take very long to package it. And so where I'm at right now anyway, it doesn't. Like if I was busier and if I had a lot more people, then maybe I would hire that stuff out, and
Right.
our neighborhood team to like pack it, or even my older kids.
Right. Exactly.
But at
Mhm.
this point I can do it all. So like as you grow, you would want to hire things out for sure, just
Right.
so you don't get lost in just that.
Yep. Well, I hope it grows into a sustainable and, a business a nice little side business that doesn't require too much of your time, but does bring in some income. So I hope it does. So definitely. But now, do you have you time ever? And how do you schedule that? Do you have to schedule it? What are some things that you do just to kind of give yourself a break and give yourself some time?
Yeah. I feel like it's again like I wish I was like a like, 'cause it is nice to like have a really strict schedule. Like that feels good when you can do that.
Hmm.
But at the same time, like you have to allow that flexibility. And so like, yeah, like I can just try to fit things in. Like if the kids are outside playing and I want to read a book, I'll read a book. Like I know a lot of people do like their Bible time in the morning. Well, for me, it works best in the evening because my mornings get really chaotic fast.
Right.
And so when I'm laying in bed nursing my baby to sleep, I'll pull up my phone app, and I have it set on a night tone setting, and I'll just sit there and I'll read my 5 chapters.
Hmm.
And so that's helpful. And then like my husband, he actually started playing soccer on Monday nights. And so we agreed, since he does that every Monday night, that I get to do something every either Tuesday or Thursday night. So like, after dinner, then I can go off and like guilt free, because like he doesn't care. But like, how moms have like that mom
Yeah.
guilt, like
Yeah.
just dropping everything and going, like, I'll go take a bath, or like if I want to go work on my business, or just kind of whatever I want to do, and then he's like fine with watching the kids.
Hmm. Nice.
So it's helpful to like, if you can set aside that time. I mean, obviously, if he's out of town or deployed, then that's not going to happen.
Right.
But,
Exactly. Speaking of your husband, what are some ways that you found to keep the romance alive while in such a crazy time? Because I know it is, because your oldest is only 12. That's right around the age we finally started letting ours kind of have a little more responsibility, watch the kids for an hour while we ran to town. We'd take the baby and he'd watch the younger ones. So, what are some ways that you found throughout your marriage of having lots of littles, of just keeping the romance alive?
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see like we're getting up to that point where like you're saying, where you can kind of start to leave the kids, the older or kids, and just take the baby, or
Right.
we'll just take the 3 younger girls with us, and we can't grocery shopping as a day. So,
Yeah.
but it's just finding the little things and letting go of what your idea of like romance. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if any of you grew up how I did, very secular, like we watched, the chick flicks and all that stuff. And so there's this idea of like what it's supposed to be, when in reality, like you got to let go of that and realize like this is real life. Like, this isn't, so
Hollywood.
yeah. Yeah. And luckily it's not, it's real. And so just finding those little gaps and those times. And like, I think texting is awesome when you can text each other. Sometimes like if you can talk when they're at work, maybe on their lunch break, if they're able to, my husband has an hour commute. And so like on his way home, sometimes we'll just chat on the phone. And it's, and when they were little, like how you had said before, like we would go on rides in the car up the canyon, and we just talk while they're in the back.
Yeah, we've done that lots. No,
Yeah.
I like that. That's good to try to find little times that you can just sneak in some talking or communication or whatever, because you don't ever want to get to the point where you're just strangers raising these kids together.
Yeah. And it's hard, because we try to do everything together as a family. Like I used to work with my husband when I did work. We used to do mail delivery at the post office. And even before that, like that's how we met, was at the movie theater, so like we really do enjoy being around each other. We are best friends, like we get along well. And so like anytime that we're together for us, like, and that's our love language too, I should have mentioned, we're both quality time. And so you talked about that before, they're like knowing each other's love languages and just really like playing off that. And thankfully we're the same, so it makes it really easy.
Yeah, that does make it easy. Yep, definitely. So along those same lines, how do you keep a close relationship with each of your kids? I mean, do you do anything special with them, one-on-one? How do you just find the time to connect with all of them throughout the day?
Yeah. So, homeschooling in general, I feel like you get a lot of one-on-one,
Yeah, you do.
naturally it just happens. And then like, I don't know, I love it. Like when I start like baking cookies or even making dinner, like my Aaron, so 6-year-old, 4-year-old, and my 2-year-old, they'll always be like in the kitchen wanting to do whatever I'm doing in there. They just love cooking and baking and stuff. And so it might not always be one-on-one. It might be like 3 at a time, or, but then my husband, he started to try to take them out like every once in a while, one at a time, and go do something fun that they want to do. So I'm trying to think of some of the stuff they've done. One of them, I think, wanted to go bowling once. Another time, one wanted to go, I think, to like a trampoline park. He's taken the older, like the boys, to jazz games before, the basketball games and stuff. So it's just like fun outings. Like they don't even, like we don't watch sports at home and like keep track of it, but it's just something fun to go do, and just do it, Exactly. So yeah, so it's just little things like that. And then like I have a younger sister who lives nearby, and like we've taken the girls out on a girls' night to a movie, and stuff like that. So
nice. So how do you keep your walk with God close? What are some ways? You mentioned you read the Bible, listen to the app. You guys have a good IFB church you go to, correct?
Yeah, we go to one locally. Yeah, so we go, they just have Sunday mornings and Wednesday nights here. And so we try to go whenever we can. I mean, obviously this last week we had sick kids, so we didn't. And then reading your Bible daily is really important. I also like on like the Apple Music app, you can look up hymnals and you can play those during the day, listening to sermons and podcasts by like, people who are rooted in what you're going for. Like, just like even like homemaking podcasts, homeschooler podcasts, anything like that. Like it can just really help you just to grow and to learn and, trying to always improve yourself and work on what you can, so.
Right. Exactly. Nice. So last question, because this is a show designed for women. Is it possible? Do you feel like it's possible to even have girlfriends at this point of life? What are some ways that you stay connected with your friends or your close friends in your life?
Yeah. So I actually just have a friend from junior high I was able to get together with last Sunday after church.
Oh, cool.
Um, I think it's totally possible. And I think it's for a lot of moms, like it's necessary. Like I know for me, I'm very social though. Like, I love people. I love talking to people and hearing their stories. So, but yeah, it's very possible. In our neighborhood, we have like a homeschool group that meets once a week. And then like we'll do like a play date after at the park, and you can socialize with moms at the park while the kids are playing. And Marco Polo is great. I use that a lot with my sister-in-laws and a few friends. So
Yep.
yeah, so
I
there's
know.
lots of
I feel like in this day and age we live in, you really have no excuse not to keep in contact with people if you don't want to, if you really want to, because there's so many avenues that you can do with apps and FaceTime and Zoom and everything that's out there. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. But that is about all that we are going to talk about. I wanted to do the giveaway, and don't forget the 30% off code gentlyled 30, and I'm going to put that down below as soon as this process, because I did it through Zoom. It will take a little bit of time to process, so hang tight. I will get that code down there. I'll leave a comment and I'll pin the comment with that in there. But okay, so this is going to be a pretty easy question, especially if you've been watching the whole time, and if you know Jenn at all, this is going to be easy. So the first one to type it, get ready, get your typing fingers ready. Okay, so what is the name of her company? What is the name of her company? And you have to know, you have to say the whole thing, what it is. So let's wait and see who's the first one to type it. Don't have any, there's a little bit of a lag. So we have to wait for a minute. So it's just the first one that types this coming through. There must be quite a bit. Oh no, there's, okay, Milky Mama, Milky Ma, but there's another part to it, is there not?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But if you want, it's up to you what you want to do on that one.
I don't know. I said it has to, oh, there we go. Milky Ma Clothing. Got it. Jessica Goris. Yep, I got to give it to Jessica. I said it had to be the whole thing. Milky Ma Clothing. Ding, ding, ding. You are the winner. So Jessica, please email me at gentlyledsisters@gmail.com. Give me your size. Or if you would like to gift it to someone else too, give me their size, their name, address, all that good stuff. And I will go ahead and buy that and have her send it to you. But don't forget the code. Let me write it down here again. gentlyled 30 for any non-clearance items. Now, Jessica, can I ask you, there's gonna be a little bit of lag, but are you nursing? Will this come in handy for you? I'm kind of curious now. So we'll see if she responds. But
yeah,
yes,
she's heard before. So.
Oh, has she? Oh, well, you know the name.
Like I recognize that name. So.
She was trying for it. She was trying for it. Yeah, that's funny. Okay, so we will probably. You're welcome, Jessica. We will end it there. Just go ahead and email me. Remember to like this video and share the video, leaving comments. Remember to check out her shop and buy something if you are pregnant or nursing. She's nursing and expecting.
Very nice.
So she'll definitely be able to use it then for sure. So thank you, Jenn, for coming on with me tonight. I got a reminder on Facebook that it had been a year since I did the spotlight on mom businesses. So it's been a year almost exactly since you were with me. So I thought that was pretty funny because you were with for like short 5 or 10 minutes last year.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I really enjoyed talking to you. If you guys don't know, I teach her boys piano. That's kind of how we've gotten to know each other a little bit through the weekly Zoom meetings. I know we don't talk much, but she gets to hear me in the background the whole time. So
she's a great teacher. So if you guys are looking into it, she's
yeah, I am so full right now. I know.
Oh yeah, I think you're all booked out, huh?
Yes, I'm all booked out, but that's a good thing, right? That's a good thing. So keeps me busy. I love teaching. So anyways, we will see you guys next week. Hang on, Jenn, I'm going to end it here, but don't go anywhere. Okay. Bye, guys.